Good evening. එහෙනම් අද අපි අපේ ක්ලාස් එක පටන් ගමු. මේක තමයි පුතාලගේ ඩිප්ලෝමා ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකේ අන්තිම ෆයිනල් මොඩියුල් එක වෙන්නේ බිස්නස් ඉංග්‍රීසි. මෙන්න මේ කියන යුනිට් එකත් අපි ඩිස්කස් කරලා ඉවරනාට පස්සේ මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අසයින්මන්ට් එකක් සෙන්ඩ් කරනවා. ඒක මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ WhatsApp group එකට මැසේජ් එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා වගේ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට 1 month time duration එකක් දෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අසයින්මන්ට් එක කරලා මට හදලා ඕගොල්ලන්ට සෙන්ඩ් කරන්න මාසයක් කාලෙ දෙනවා. ඒ කාලය ඇතුළත ඕගොල්ලෝ ඒ හැම ප්‍රශ්නයකටම ආන්සර්ස් ලියලා කම්ප්ලීට් අසයින්මන්ට් එකක් කරලා මට එවන්න. පුතාට මේ නෝට් එක WhatsApp group එකට share කරලා තියෙන්නේ. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම මේ නෝට් එකත් ඕගොල්ලෝ හොඳට බලා ගන්න. අපි කතා කරලා තියෙන මේ වෙනකන් අපි කතා කරලා තියෙන හැම grammar point එකක්ම එතකොට spoken පැත්තෙන් අපි කතා කරපු දේවල් මේ හැම එකක්ම ඕගොල්ලෝ බලා ගන්න. assignment එක අමාරු නැහැ. අපි කතා කරපු දේවල් වලින්ම තමයි assignment එක හැදෙන්නේ. එතකොට මම කලින් කිව්වා වගේ අපි කතා කළා ඊමේල් එකක් ලියන්නේ කොහොමද? ලෙටර් එකක් ලියන්නේ කොහොමද? ඉන්ෆෝමල් ෆෝමල් ලෙටර්ස් ලියන හැටි. ඉන්ෆෝමල් ෆෝමල් ඊමේල් එකක් ලියන්නේ කොහොමද? මොන වගේ වෙනසක්ද? මොන වගේ මේජර් ඩිෆරන්ස් එකක්ද තියෙන්නේ ෆෝමල් ඊමේල් එකක් ෆෝමල් ඊමේල් එකක් ඉන්ෆෝමල් ඊමේල් එකක් ලියන්නේ කොහොමද? මොන වගේ ඩිෆරන්සස්ද ෆෝමල් ඊමේල් එකක් ඉන්ෆෝමල් ඊමේල් එකක තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර මේ දේවල් අපි කතා කළා. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක ඇති. ඒතකොට ඊමේල්ස්, ලෙටර්ස්, එසේ එකක් ලියන්න එසේ එකක් ලියද්දී වඩාත් සැලකිලිමත් වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒතර මේ හැම දෙයක්ම අපි කතා කරලා මේ වෙනකොට අවසන්. ඒ හින්දා ඒ කොටස් ටික හොඳට මතක නැවත නැවත ටිකක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලා ගන්න. essays, letters, emails, literature වලුත් questions දෙකක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තියෙයි. කැමති question එකක් වාට ලියන්න පුළුවන්. poem අපි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක ඇති අපි poems ගැන කතා කළා. ඒ වගේම short story එකක් ගැනත් අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා. වලින් questions අපි discuss කළා. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක ඇති. ඒක නිසා හැම එකක්ම ටිකක් බලා ගන්න. literature questions දෙකක් වගේ තියෙයි. හැබැයි ඒ දෙකම ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට එකයි එතන ලියන්න ඕනේ. ඒ විදිහට ලේසි කරලා paper එක හදන්න. අමාරු නැහැ assignment එක. හැමෝටම හොඳ ලකුණක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම පුළුවන් හැමෝටම හොඳ මාක් එකක් ගන්න. ඒ එකක් A minor A plus ඔන්න ඔය කියන මාක්ස් තුනේ එකක් ගන්න උත්සාහ කරන්න. try කරන්න අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම බැරි වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තව ස්පීකින් ඇක්ටිවිටීස් කීපයක්ම දාන්නම් WhatsApp group එකට. ඒ ටිකත් මට කරලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ එවන්න. එවත්ති හැම ස්පීකින් ඇක්ටිවිටි එකක්ම voice messages හැටියට තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ මට කරලා එවන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් මේ මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කිව්වා මේ හැම මැසේජ් එකක්ම මතක තියාගන්න. මේ හැම පණිවිඩයක්ම අසයින්මන්ට් එක අමාරු නැහැ. හැමෝටම හොඳ ලකුණකට යන්න පුළුවන් අසයින්මන්ට් එකේ. මොකද මේකේ ඩිප්ලෝමා ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක්. එතකොට ටිකක් අමාරුත් නැහැ. පහසුමත් නැහැ. ඒ ඇවරේජ් විදිහට හැමෝටම ලියන්න පුළුවන් විදිහට අසයින්මන්ට් එක ඉවන්නම්. ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන් හැමෝම කරලා ඉවන්න ඕනේ. ඕගොල්ලොන්ට සර්ටිෆිකේට් එකක් ට්‍රාන්ස්ක්‍රිප්ට් එකක් ගන්න ඕනේ නම් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ අසයින්මන්ට් එක කම්ප්ලීට් කරලා මට එවන්න ඕනේ. ඕකේ. එහෙනම් අද අපි ඩිස්කස් කරන්න යන්නේ බිස්නස් ඉංග්‍රීසි ගැන තමයි. අද අපේ යුනිට් එක වෙන්න. එතකොට මේ මොඩියුල් එක අපි එහෙනම් අදින් පටන් ගමු. තව පුතාලට දවස් 4ක් වගේ තියෙනවා. ඒ දවස් 4න් පස්සේ තමයි මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අසයින්මන්ට් එක ෂෙයා කරන්න. ඒකින්ද දැම්ම කලබල වෙන්න එපා. ගොඩක් මගේ මැසේජස් දාලා අහලා තිබුණා අසයින්මන්ට් එක ගැන. දැම්ම පුතාට assignment එක send කරන්න නැහැ. මේ දවස් ටිකත් අපි මේ unit එක කතා කරලා තව spoken English වෙනත් අපි කීපයක්ම කතා කරලා අවසන් කරලා ඊට පස්සේ මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ WhatsApp group එකට share කරන්න assignment එක. Okay. Business English. So what do you think about business English? I think it's better if we just read these two presentation slides, right? Business English. English writing comes in many styles: academic, creative, formal, business, and several others. Parts of each style can overlap, making it difficult to understand when and how to use each kind. Business English or business writing is a style used in the professional world. This style is needed to complete job applications, communicate with potential employers, create professional website bios, write emails to employers and supervisors, and compose other kinds of job-related writing as well. This handout is a general guide for how to use standard business English and integrate one establishing a new professional contact. Okay. What is business English? According to you, what do you think? What is business English? What is business English? It's a kind of a communication in a professional context, right? It's a kind of a communication in a professional context. So there are some key components of business English, right? So what are the key components according to you? What you the key in here you can see, right? In this presentation slide, you can see the key components of business English. So what do you think, according to yourself, as you are kind of a professional, it means a kind of a certain employer in a company or whatever, it may be whatever in any field, right? In private sector or government sector, if you are engaged in as employee, what do you think? What of business, what are the components? In here you can see, right? In this presentation slide, you can see this yeah, I just whiteboard and note that, right? We will know those things later, but first of all, can you just tell me what are, according to you, what do you think, what are the key components of business English? As you know, in this present world, business English is kind of trend and popular language among all the employers and professionals, right? In business sector, right? Especially business sector. So I think it's it's really better if you can follow a kind of certificate course or whatever, a kind of paper qualification in business English. Especially, there are some courses designed for the student who wants to pursue their high studies in business English, right? In state universities and in private universities. Yeah, some of the courses are introduced for those students, right? Those students who wants to business English, right? Okay, according to you, what do you think about business English, and what are the key components of business English? What do you think? You can sorry, you can send me the answers as messages, right? In the through chat box. You can drop messages in the chat box, or you can unmute the mic and just Tell me, right? What are the key components of business English? I'll just give you 5 minutes, right? You can drop a message into Dropbox, right? Key components of business English. Okay, time is over. What do you think about the key components of business English, right? So the functional language, communication skills, and business topics and vocabulary. So those are the key points of business English, right? So as we just discussed previously, what is business English? What do you think? What is business English? According to you, what do you think? Is there any idea about business English? As we said, as we already discussed previously, it is a kind of a specialized type of English used in professional settings, right? It's not about learning completely different grammar, but about using English effectively and appropriately to achieve goals in the world of work. So that's why we are learning business English, right? So that's the main purpose, right? uh, Business English means, as we said previously, it's a kind of a specialized type of English used in professional settings, right? Used in professional settings. So what are the key differences of business English from general English? It means, is there any kind of difference in between general English and business English? Can you find a difference in between those two? Is there any kind of difference in between business English and general English? What do you think? Is there any difference? Yeah, there's a difference in between business English and general English, right? Okay, so what are the differences in vocabulary, tone, and purpose? Right? So those are the key differences that you can see in business English and general English, right? Okay. So vocabulary means like there is some specific words related to business, right? For example, profit, client, negotiate, deadline. So those are kind of specific words, specific vocabularies they are in related to business, right? So it's a kind of key difference in business English. And if we are just comparing business English was general English, vocabulary is different, right? Vocabulary is different. And another difference is the tone, right? As you can see in this presentation slide also, business English tone, right? The tone is different from general English, right? It's a kind of a tone like it's usually more formal, polite, and clear. More formal, polite, and clear, right? In business English, tone is more, usually it's more polite, formal, and clear, right? And the purpose of business English is somewhat different than in general English, right? So what is the purpose of business English? What kind of a purpose it have? Sorry, it has in business English. Purpose, it's a goal oriented, right? Goal oriented. And as you know, every communication has a purpose, right? Every communication has a purpose, like making a sale, solving a problem, or sharing information, right? So this is goal oriented. Okay, so every communication has a kind of a purpose, like making a sale or solving a problem or a kind of sharing information. All right, so those are the key differences. If you are comparing business English with general English, so those are the key differences that you can see, right? I think it's better if you note down those points, right? Key differences from general English, right? If you are comparing business English with general English, so those are the key differences that you can identify in business English, right? Vocabulary, tone, and purpose, right? I think it's better to note down those points. I'll just share the whiteboard and note down those points. Then you can get the CR book, and then put the today's date, right? Put the today's date, and then note down those points, right? Okay, I'll just share you the whiteboard, and then we will note down those points, right? Yeah, the key differences from general English, right? Okay, now you can note down those points, right? If you can't just see the whiteboard, just tell me, right? Just drop me a message in the Dropbox. Key differences from general English are vocabulary, tone, and purpose, right? So those are the key differences from general English. If you are comparing general English was business English, right? The first one, vocabulary, right? The specific words related to business. It means there is kind of specific terminology that we used in business, right? For example, profit, deadline, client, negotiate. So those are specific words in business, right? And tone is usually more formal, polite, and clear. And purpose is goal oriented, and every communication, as you know, every communication has a purpose, like making a sale, solving a problem, or sharing information. You can add some more, right? You can add some more, or sharing information. You can note down that one also, right? Making a sale, solving a problem, or sharing information, right? So I'll just give you 5 minutes to note down those things, right? To note down the key differences, right? Get your ZR book and note down those points. Okay, time is over. I think everyone just note down, right? If you can't note, sorry. Uh, if anyone who wouldn't complete their note about the key differences from general English, that they can have a screenshot of this, right? You can have a screenshot. Okay, okay. We will continue our session. Uh, we already discussed about what is business English and the key differences from general English. And also, we discuss about the key components of business English, and we can discuss about the business English further in more detail, right? Okay. There are some rules in business English, right? So we are just name these rules as golden rules, right? The golden rules of business English. Okay, so you have to keep these golden rules in your mind, right? What are the golden rules? There are three golden rules of business English. Okay, the first one is be clear and concise, right? Be clear and concise. It means get to the point very quickly, right? It's the most important thing in business sector, right? Get to the point quickly, and people are busy, right? So use simple words instead of complex ones. It means, for example, you can use help instead of facilitate, right? So help, facilitate, so those are synonyms, right? Same meaning but two different words. All right. So always try to use simple words instead of complex one, right? Don't communicate with the complex sentences or complex word. For an example, colossal, facilitate. What else? As you know, there are more complex ones. No, yeah, there are more complex words, right? But you can convey an idea or whatever a message with simple English, right? With simple language, with simple words, right? So no need to use complex one, right? As I said before, help. So use help instead of facilitate, right? And another example I can see you use buy instead of purchase. As you know, those words are synonyms, right? Buy, purchase, buy, purchase. So those are synonyms. No, it means samanapata, right? Those are synonyms. But you can say use buy instead of purchase, right? Always try to use simple ones, not complex ones, right? Be clear and concise on that. As it use simple words um, instead of complex ones, right? Okay. For an example, I just give you a good example and bad example, right? The good example is we are now using our team to fix the problem. Okay, everyone can understand. No? Yeah. So everyone can simply understand what am I telling, right? Okay. What I'm telling, we are now using our team to fix the problem. We are now using our team to we are now using our team to fix the problem, right? So that's a good example. Okay. I said use simple words instead of complex one, right? Good example mean a kind of sentence using simple language, right? Using simple words, right? Everyone can understand what am I saying, right? Everyone can easily understand, right? We are now using our team to fix the problem, so everyone can easily understand what am I saying, right? So the bad example is at this point in time we are utilizing our resources to facilitate a solution. Okay, so I just say the same thing in two different ways. The first one I say, what am I saying? We are now using our team to fix the problem, right? So you can say that one in complex words, right? You can say it in the use of complex words also, right? At this point in time, we are utilizing our resources to facilitate a solution. So same meaning, but in two different ways. The styles are different because in first example, as you see, it's in simple form, right? We use simple words. But in second example, as you can understand, it's quite difficult. It's a bit difficult to understand. Why is that? Because there are some complex words, complex vocabularies there in second example. But in first example, everyone can easily understand, right? They can easily understand. But in second example, as you can see, it's quite bit difficult to understand, right? Due to its complexity of the words, right? Okay, we will note down it later, right? So the first golden rule is be clear and concise. Everything you communicate with one another in business world, it should be simple and it should be very clear. It must be very clear, must, right? It must be very clear and concise. So that's the first golden rule of business English. Be clear and concise, right? And then the second golden rule, be professional and polite. Be professional and polite, right? Be professional and polite. So in here, you can use formal greetings and closings in emails, right? For example, you can say, please, thank you, and I would appreciate it, right? And avoiding text language and too many exclamation points, as you know. Don't use so many exclamation marks, right? Exclamation points. For example, I can give you like, if you use, sorry, hey, need that report ASAP. So instead of saying thank you, yeah, you do a kind of a text language. You use a kind of a text language, right? THX. So it does mean thanks, right? But you use a kind of method for sending messages like that in business, right? So it's kind of a bad example, right? So always you have to be professional and polite, because as you are employee or whatever kind of a professional in private or government sector, you have to be professional and polite. It's not like text messaging, right? In emails, you always have to be formal and polite, right? Yeah, and I can give you a good example also, right? Hello, and your name, whatever name, I will just take John. Okay. Hello, John. Could you please send the report by 5 p.m.? Thank you. You can say like that, right? You can express, you can guide, you can um, suggest a kind of thing in a polite, professional way to another one, right? So always be professional and polite. So that's the second golden rule of English language, right? Sorry, of business English, not in English language, in business English, specifically in business English. And the final golden rule of business English is be correct. And to always try to be correct. Be correct, right? Always try to check your spelling and grammar, and mistakes look unprofessional, as you know, right? Make sure names and numbers are correct, and a wrong number can cause many big problems, right? Many big problems. It can cause many big problems. So always try to be correct, right? Because you are a professional, you are an employee, so you have to be correct. Yeah, right. So whenever you write email or letter or whatever kind of writing, the grammar and the words, right? The grammar and the spelling must be correct, right? Must be correct. Okay, as I said previously, mistakes look unprofessional because you are not a student, you are not an undergraduate, you are an employee. or you are a professional, right? So don't make mistakes, right? Especially in spelling and grammatically. And not only that, wrong numbers, as I said previously, wrong numbers and names can cause big problems, right? So always try to be correct. So those are the golden rules of business English. Golden rules of business English, right? So it's better to note down those things also. Golden rules of business English. So there are three major golden rules. What are they? Be correct, be professional and polite, be clear and concise, right? Okay, I'll note down those things first on the whiteboard, and then it's better if you can note down those 3 points in your CR book, right? Okay, it's better if you can note down those 3 points, and just let's explain as I explained to you previously. Explain a little bit, right? Be clear and concise, be professional and polite, be correct, right? So those are the three golden rules of business English, right? So as I discussed these points earlier with you, I just give you some points, right? Be clear and concise, be professional and polite, be correct. So, note, describe a little bit, right? Describe a little bit those rules. If you can, describe a little bit and note down, right? If not, okay, I'll just send you this point, these rules, right? Later, the three golden rules of business English. Okay, I think everyone can note down those points, right? The three golden rules of business English: be clear and concise, be professional and polite, be correct. Okay. If you can just describe a little bit about those three golden rules, right? As we discussed previously. Okay. Okay. Key vocabulary, and next we will move to discuss about the key vocabulary for the workplace. It's just an example, right? Okay, we will just discuss it first, and then later we can note down those points, right? Key vocabulary for the workplace, right? Okay, what are the nouns and verbs which are specific for the workplace? Right, what are the nouns? Meeting, agenda, deadline, client, customer, manager, report, presentation, goal. So those are the nouns. They are key vocabulary for workplace. Okay, so under that, they are the nouns that you can use when communicate and business English, right? And what are the verbs that you can specifically use for kind of a workplace? What are the verbs? To schedule, to attend, to report, to agree, to disagree, to negotiate, to hire, to train. So those are the verbs, right? And there are some useful phrases also, right? In a meeting, could I say something? I see your point. Let's move on to the next topic. So those are in a meeting, you can use those phrases, right? And on the phone, this is, and you can say your name. This is Micah. It means okay, Micah or John or whatever the name, right? This is John speaking. Could I ask who's calling, please? Thank you for calling, right? So those are some useful phrases that you can use in each instances, right? On the phone call or in the meeting, right? Okay. I think yeah, it's better to note down those things also, right? Key vocabulary for workplace, right? Key vocabulary for workplace. Okay. Okay, now you can note down those points also. Key vocabulary for workplace, nouns, meeting, agenda, deadline, client, customer, manager, report, presentation, goal. You can add some more, right? As as you know, I think, sorry, as I know, you can, some more words, right? More than me, that as your profession or an employee, so you know lots of nouns with regard to workplace, right? Meeting, agenda, deadline, client, customer, manager, report, presentation, goal. If you know other words, just add, right? Just add to here nouns. And then verbs: to schedule, to attend, to report, to disagree, to agree, to hire, to train. There are a lot, right? There are some more. Okay, you can add those verbs also into your note, right? Okay, and useful phrases in a meeting. Could I say something? Let's move on to the next topic. On the phone, thank you for calling. This is, it means your name. Speaking, could I ask who's calling, please? So in here also that you can see the three golden jewels of business English, right? Be polite and professional, be correct, and be, and what is the other golden rule? As you can remember, what's that? Be correct, be professional and polite, and also be clear and concise, right? Okay, you can see, right, in these phrases, you can see they are professional, they are looking professional and polite, okay, and correct in grammar. Okay, you can note down those key points also, right? Key vocabulary for workplace, nouns, verbs, and useful phrases. Note down those things in your CR book, right? Okay, I'll just give you 10 minutes to complete. And this is the final point that we discussed today, okay? And in another day, it means it will be tomorrow or whatever the day, the next day, right? The next day, we will discuss about the presentation slide that I already sent to your WhatsApp group, right? I just send you a PDF document with regard to business English and a resource book too, right? You can refer that resource book and gather more information about business English, right? Okay, we will discuss that PDF document later in next day, right? And we can complete it by 2 or 3 days, right? We can complete that PDF document too. Okay, I'll just give you some time to note down those points, and we will just end up the session after you note down those points, right? Okay. Okay, time is over. I think everyone note this, right? Okay. If you have any question or doubt about today's lesson, you can ask me questions, right? Any question, or you can drop me a message into the WhatsApp, my personal WhatsApp number. You can ask any question, okay? With regarding to today's session, today's lesson, or whatever the unit that we already covered, right? We already discussed. You can ask any question from me, right? If I'm too speed, you can just tell me, right? I'll just explain little by little, right? Okay. We will wind up the session for today. We will meet again in next day, right? Okay. Goodbye. Okay. We will meet again in tomorrow or next day, right? Okay. Until then, goodbye. Goodbye.